This February, a Doberman pinscher named Penny stood at the center of Madison Square Garden and was named Best in Show at Westminster, the most prestigious dog title in America. For winning it, Penny took home a crystal bowl, a ribbon, and exactly $0. That's not an oversight. There is no cash prize at Westminster, not for Best in Show, not for any of it. And getting a dog to that ring, then campaigning it seriously for a year, can cost $250,000. Some owners spend $250,000 chasing a prize that hands back nothing at the door. So what are they actually buying? Your first instinct is probably the same as mine. The trophy's symbolic, fine, but winning the biggest dog show in the country has to turn into money somewhere down the line. The dog gets famous. People want its puppies, and champion puppies are expensive. Puppies from Westminster winners have sold for $10,000, even $25,000 each, at the largest legal dog auction in the country. So the math looks simple. Spend big, win, cash in on the bloodline. The money at Westminster tells a different story. It doesn't flow toward the winner. It flows away from them for years before a single win. When reporters ask owners why they keep doing it, the answer comes back the same way every time. The return is mostly personal, not monetary. The closest thing to prize money at the entire event goes to the agility and obedience winners, and they get to send $5,000 to a charity or a kennel club, not to themselves. If the win doesn't pay, the spending has to go somewhere on the way in. Almost none of it is the entry fee. Signing up for Westminster costs about $100. That part is nearly free. The expensive part is the campaign. In the year before the big show, a serious contender travels the country to compete, week after week, building a national ranking. Most top dogs are led into the ring by a professional handler, and at Westminster, a handler's fee starts around $1,000, with a bonus on top if the dog wins. Then come the flights and hotels, the grooming and the special diet, the vet care and the training, and then the strangest line item of all, advertising. Owners buy glossy ad spreads in dog show magazines to promote their dog's recent wins and build its name with the judges. Some spend as much as $100,000 a year on advertising alone. Add it up, and a top campaign runs well into six figures. That $250,000 number isn't the entry fee, and it isn't what everyone spends. Plenty of owners handle their own dogs and spend a fraction of it. But for the dogs at the very top, the ones with a real shot, a year of campaigning can cost $250,000. What does all of that money buy if the ring itself pays nothing? Start with how a dog even gets there. Westminster isn't open to any dog off the street. To compete, a dog generally has to earn championship credentials on the American Kennel Club circuit, collecting points at smaller shows first. Roughly a third of the field arrives by invitation as one of the top representatives of its breed. Before Westminster, there's a whole season of qualifying to pay for, and the judging works in a way most people don't expect. Penny the Doberman wasn't really competing against the poodles or the terriers, not directly. Every breed is measured against its own written standard, an ideal blueprint describing exactly what that breed should look like and how it should move. The judge isn't picking the cutest dog in the building. They're picking the dog that comes closest to the perfect version of its own kind. So the campaign money buys ranking, it buys recognition, and it buys a judge who already recognizes your dog. The win pays nothing. The road to it costs a fortune. The judging rewards a written ideal. So why do people do this? The real reason is quieter than the payday fantasy. A Westminster win raises the dog's fame, the kennel's reputation, the demand for its puppies, and the value of breeding access to it. That's where money can come back through stud fees and puppy sales from a proven champion line. It's real, and it is nowhere near guaranteed. Take Uno, the first beagle ever to win Best in Show. A genuine star. He turned out to be infertile. The breeding payoff everyone assumed would follow simply never arrived. Most people in this world will tell you the same thing about the finances even after years of showing they're lucky to break even. Even the fame stays modest. When a Pekingese named Wasabi won and became an ambassador for a pet food brand, that mostly meant some free food and a few discounts. Strip it down, and here's what remains. The prize is free. The reputation attached to it might one day be worth something, and it might not. What owners are really paying for is the pleasure of standing in that ring with the best version of a breed they love, which is why the whole thing looks less like a sport and more like a luxury launch. $250,000 campaign, glossy ad spreads, a handler in a tailored suit, all of it building the reputation of a single, beautifully made thing that happens to breathe, shed, and carry a pedigree. The ribbon at the end costs nothing. The name attached to it is the actual product, and whether that name ever pays for itself, most owners already know the answer, and they walk into the ring anyway.